Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I am sharing one of my favorite techniques, which is die cut inlay, to create a beautiful sparkly Christmas card. I'm beginning with a cover die from Altenew called Simple Shapes, and I am cutting out from white cardstock the whole panel. I've cut the cardstock to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, the same size, and I'm just taping some purple tape to the top and bottom so that it doesn't move when I put it through the die cut machine. Once that's done, I'm going to use some Altenew adhesive sheets as my base, but I'm first popping out all the extra pieces. I won't be needing these, I'll just be needing the frame to begin with. Once I have the frame, I'm turning it over and I'm using my pick to take one layer from the adhesive sheet, and I'm placing as best I can the frame onto the double-sided tape. This gives me lots of sticky open areas in which to inlay the different colors, and I'm using my bone folder to burnish the layer down. If you have a look at the top, you'll see I have used some various shades of gilded cardstock from Altenew. There are 5 different tones of gold as well as silver, and I've cut out one layer from each, and I've placed each one on some press and seal. And in order to make a poinsettia as a focal point on this card, I'm using some alcohol inks. Did you know you can use alcohol inks to very easily color any glitter cardstock, whatever color you would like? Now I've used evergreen and grapevine from set A of the alcohol markers, and I'm very easily just scribbling over the silver pieces with the marker. I'm using my tweezers and I'm placing them in. So I'll be coloring in 8 little squares to form a poinsettia. Once that's done, I will then continue just randomly to place different shades or different tones of the golds into the pieces, spreading them out so that there's a good disbursement of different shades of gold. But that red poinsettia image, which I could see, and I thought, well, that will be a nice idea as a focal point, that will remain red. The leaves, well, in inverted commas, the leaves, I'm adding just 4 pieces, and I've used the evergreen to color those. So here I am about halfway through placing the pieces. I love puzzles, and this to me is very relaxing and a lot of fun to do. Something you can do when you perhaps don't have a lot of mojo and you just want to create a background. You can simply cut out a whole lot of different panels and inlay different colored cardstocks, or make your own with inks, color your cardstock with inks, and create different patterns ready to use in future cards. So at the end, when I've completed this, I felt that it had the look of stained glass. So what I went ahead and did was cut out one more layer of the frame in black cardstock. But I first added my panel to a card base. And the black cardstock will just add that finishing touch. It will neaten up any layers, any layers that are not quite lined up. I've used my splat box as well as some adhesive spray, which I think is easier for such flimsy small layers, and I've just adhered it to the base. For a finishing touch, I've added a few gold pearls from my stash to the middle of that red area, and I think that further enhances the look of the poinsettia. So actually a very easy card to complete. So all that's left to do is to create a sentiment, and I have stamped onto some black cardstock with some embossing ink, using my embossing powder first, and then I'm going to add some gold embossing powder, keeping with the gold theme of the card, and heat emboss a sentiment until it's smooth and melted. So the antique gold embossing powder from Altenew is one of my favorites, and it gives a lovely crisp, clean image once it's heated and melted. When you're using a heat tool, don't take it too close to the embossing and keep it moving, and as you see the embossing powder starting to melt, you keep moving along, don't leave it in one place, otherwise you could take the shine away from the embossing powder. I'm then tidying up, cutting a sentiment strip using my paper trimmer, and I've die cut the word season from using the coordinating die, popping that onto popping the sentiment up with some instant dimension foam tape, and I'm going to nestle those in just to the right lower area of the card so that your eye is drawn to the sentiment and also to the floral image that I've created using a very graphic design. And there you have it. That's my card for today. I hope I've inspired you to look at all your embossing, look at all of your cover dies and see what you can create. Thank you so much for joining me. All the products I've used will be listed down below in the description, and if I've inspired you, I hope you will consider subscribing to my channel. I'd love to have you, and you will get notified of any future videos that I create. Have a lovely Christmas, everyone. Bye bye for now.